Tonight on the fifth quarter, women's golf sets all kinds of records. Men's cross country gains national recognition. And the Packers beat the Panthers. Barely.
Back in, he scores! Go all the way! Yankees win!
We're talking about practice.
Out of here! It's done!
Welcome to the show. Let's get started with the UNCG Sports Update. On Friday, women's volleyball had their second annual Spartan Spectacular. UNCG began the tournament against 8-2 Memphis. The Tigers took this first set rather handedly, 25-10. The Spartans couldn't get going on the first night, dropping the next two sets, 25-18 and 25-11. On day two, UNCG turned it on. They defeated Howard 3-1 and swept Radford in the final game. Kelly Orweiler got the distinction of libero of the tournament. Ari Lysacek and Carrie-Ann Chambers were named to the all-tournament team. The Spartans will visit North Carolina A&T for their final non-conference match on Wednesday. Their first SoCon game is on Friday at home against Elon at 6 p.m. On Sunday, women's tennis wrapped up competition in Charlottesville, Virginia at the UVA Fall Invitational. Sophomore Devin Sutherland grabbed UNCG's only single win on Sunday. After beating the 9th-ranked doubles team, UNCG Wilkins and Daughtry fell in the finals number 7-ranked team of Talbert and Duncan from Wake Forest. In the Flight B doubles final, Sutherland and Falcon lost 9-7 to Virginia's Pertez and Okanowski. The ladies' next match is on September 30th at the Wake Forest Invitational. Last weekend, men's cross country took the top 4 spots at the Elon Invitational. Paul Chelmo won, shattering the school record by 40 seconds. Paul Catom, Joey Thompson, and Abraham Kimball took 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, giving UNCG their title over Charlottesville and Elon. After UNCG's dominant performance, the Spartans are now ranked 13th in the Cross Country Coaches Association poll for the Southeast Division. The Spartans look to move up on the rankings on September 30th at the Paul Short Run in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Last week, women's golf finished 19th in the Cougar Classic. The competition included 9 top 25 teams as ranked by golfstat.com. In her first collegiate tournament, freshman Fanny Knops tied a school record with a 2:16 and finished tied for 19th. The ladies traveled to Waynesville, North Carolina to take part in the Western Carolina's 13th annual Great Smokies Intercollegiate Tournament on September 19th and 20th. In the final round play, UNCG set a school record 289 and tied for 3rd in the 23-team field. All 5 Spartans shot under 77 on the final day of competition. Fanny Knops tied another school record for the lowest 36-hole tournament score with a 140. Knops led the team, finishing 4th, while 3 Spartans finished tied for 31st. Ana Lucia Martinez, Begonia Sarabia, and Bergenal Bjornstadter. Junior Courtney Taylor finished in 46th. The Spartans will return to the course on October 3rd for the UNCG Starmount Classic. Last Friday, ladies soccer held their final non-conference match against Georgia. This was the first time head coach Steve Nugent got to face his former squad, where he was an assistant coach for 4 years. UNCG found themselves down early, but in just the 8th minute, the Bulldogs got on the board. In the 22nd minute, Georgia's Madeline Barker banked one off the post, making it 2-0. UNCG answered 17 seconds later, thanks to a great feed by Lauren Hine to Jamie Eaton for her first goal of the year. The Bulldogs added one more before halftime and another in the second half to win the game 4-1. UNCG is now 1-6 on the season. Their first SoCon match is at home at 7 p.m. on Friday, September 23rd. On Saturday, men's soccer visited Navy after falling to number 17 Charlotte just 2 weeks ago. Navy was first on the board, scoring early in the 5th minute. UNCG's Jonathan Leonard answered with his first goal of the season just 4 minutes later. Later in the game, at the 82nd minute, Navy's Nick Doobie scored his second goal of the game. The midshipman held the Spartans, not allowing a shot in the last 8 minutes. The Spartans have now lost 2 in a row and hope to bounce back when they visit William & Mary Tuesday at September 20th. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with my unprofessional advice.
Irregularity, I suppose you know all about laxatives. Well, there are stimulants like the candy types, bulk types, lubricants like mineral oil. What do you think doctors recommend most often? Milk of magnesia. Doctors say it's thorough yet gentle. So when you suffer from irregularity, get Phillips milk of magnesia. Phillips is thorough and gentle. And Phillips is the kind of laxative doctors recommend most often. That makes sense.
Welcome back to the show. We're now on our final segment we call Unprofessional Advice. First off, in regards to last week's rant about Cam Newton and my urging Panther fans not to get stoked about week 1 because the Packers were coming to town, well, I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. This kid might be the real deal. His passing yards are once again out of this world, and if he makes just a few better decisions a game and becomes a little more comfortable in the red zone, he's going to be a really special player. Like the Packers and the rest of the Cheeseheads, I'm just glad we played the Panthers when we did, before they fine-tuned Newton's game and become a real force. What I'd like to talk about this week, though, came from last night's Monday Night Football game between the New York Giants and the St. Louis Rams. With just a few minutes remaining in the first quarter with the Giants up 7-3, the Rams were driving down the field with high efficiency, using a no-huddle offense to keep the depleted, sorry Giants defense tired and unable to set up a proper scheme. Then, two players from the Giants team, Deion Grant and Jaquan Williams, unexpectedly just dropped to the ground with injuries without being touched. Now, let me be clear, I don't know if either one of these players actually had a kind of injury or cramps or something like that, but to be honest, I really doubt it. If either of them were faking it, I hope they're feeling really crappy about it today. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way for the NFL to prevent or regulate players from faking injuries just to slow down the other team's offense. It's a shame, though, and it's not fair to the team on offense, who might have a much better shot at moving down the field and scoring if they're able to continue at the original pace they were going. In my unprofessional advice, faking injuries takes away from the integrity of the game, and players and coaches who think it's okay need to reevaluate their game plan and their character. Hope it was worth it, Giants. Chances are you still won't make the playoffs. That concludes our show for the night. Thanks for tuning in. For Ed Lewis and everyone here at STV, have a great evening.